Hi, and welcome back to Afterthought. This is my YouTube series about my podcast. So if you go to the description below, you'll see the link to the podcast we're talking about today. And you'll also see the link to the next episode we'll be talking about, the next podcast episode. So before anything else, please like and subscribe if you like. If you don't like me, turn this off. Do us all a favor. So here we go. So this episode is about Unsolved Mysteries, the TV show. So there is apparently what I described in the podcast. There's three. So there was the one with Robert Stack in the late 80s. There's one with Dennis Farina in the early 2000s. And now this new released Netflix 6-episode series that was released this summer. But I found out, prior to the Robert Stack one, it was actually a 3-part episode special. So it's not it necessarily was a show. It was just one of those specials, like an after school specials, but it was 3 parts. It aired in 3 parts. It aired in 1985. I don't know what the cases were. I couldn't find that out, but that's what started this whole unsolved mystery thing. It was this 3-part special. And because the general audience reacted so well to it, decided to produce a show. And, it worked out. It worked out for Robert Stack, who, by the way, in the podcast, I was like, I don't know if he's still alive. He's not. He died in 2003. Probably a very happy man because apparently he produced these shows too. He was like an executive producer or something. Very wealthy. He did really well for himself. So rest in peace, Mr. Stack. You did a great job. So, to my understanding, I just found out that season 2 of the Netflix special is airing in October 19th, which I'm really excited about. Oh my God, I have so many questions. But I have to say the 6 episodes that were aired for season 1 or part 1 or whatever they're calling it, were so incredible. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can go listen to my podcast and then go watch it on Netflix if you have Netflix. But even if you don't have Netflix, I feel like after it aired, it's become a big news thing. Like every time I look around, someone's talking about one of the cases. Especially, there's 2 specific cases that have gotten a lot of attention. Rey Rivera, the first one with the husband who went missing, they found him dead in the hotel in Baltimore. That one's getting a lot of attention. Apparently, after it happened, his employers put a gag order on all the employees at his office. Not weird at all. Jesus. So Netflix made it abundantly clear that they did this. That they couldn't, the investigators couldn't talk to anybody at his job. And it was pretty much closed case until Netflix came in. And so now the employer, I forget his name, Porter Stanbury, sorry, pushed back on Netflix saying that they're making him look like a villain. It's not true, all this other whatever he said. But I mean, if you put a gag order on employees, you end up looking really suspicious. So that's on you, buddy. That's on you. And so they're still investigating that. It's been 14 years. I keep seeing reports. His widow is doing a lot of interviews. So that particular one, I feel like it will get solved soon. And then the other one that has a lot of people talking, which I'm glad because it seemed like it was kind of pushed under or swept under the rug because they seem like your typical all-American. They don't have a lot of money in the middle of nowhere. Is the one with, let me get this right. Oh, Alonzo Brooks. The one with Alonzo Brooks in Kansas. And that one, he, just a young man, he's African American and Latino. He went to a party with all his friends. Most of his friends actually all of his friends are white. They went to this party and he was one of 2 black guys at this party, maybe the only one, in the middle of nowhere, Kansas. And so his friend went to go get cigarettes, never came back for him. He was like, oh, I got a ride, don't worry. And then they couldn't find him the next day. And then it sounds really sketchy. You have to, if you're going to watch any episode, watch that one and the alien one. But that one is super sketchy. It's obviously a hate crime. No one's talking. Now I've seen a lot of reports about it because it's been national news because of what's all going on with like Black Lives Matter. People really want to solve this mystery. It's abundantly clear that it's a hate crime. They exhumed his body from the cemetery, so they're trying to investigate even more. Now the FBI is involved. There's like $100,000 reward for any information. Trying to think what else. They really are trying to solve that one. You know, it's all over the news. The town, I know that a lot of local news go to the town to interview, and they've been very kind of apprehensive. Like, apparently people have been going to the town and saying they're a bunch of murderers or something. I don't know, but I recently saw like a local news report of a town that's like close to this Kansas City town. I forget the name of the town, sorry. And this local news reporter tried to go into town and people are like, get out of our town and blah, blah, blah. They're like really apprehensive. I guess because of what happened, they're getting a lot of bad press. But it's like, why don't you tell us what happened? Like, why are you hiding? Like, I personally think it was one of those things where they said at the party, Alonzo had friction with somebody. I'm pretty sure at, his friend leaving, people were drinking, people got cocky. They all jumped him and probably killed him. And what's weird is they couldn't find the body right away. They searched an area and then they weren't given permission to go on to parts of the farm where the party was. Oh, that is so suspicious. Like, it's just like, come on out. Like, you guys are hiding something. So they didn't have permission to go on the farm to look for him. So finally, when they got permission to go to the farm, they went to this creek area, and they found his body. But what's crazy is he had like paperwork and documents on him, and none of it was wet. So it was made to seem like his body kind of floated onto this like landing in this creek area, but he wasn't wet. Like, so, and anything, all his persons, like the stuff in his wallet, were still dry. So it's so suspicious. At that point, I think his mom kind of implied, which I kind of agree with her, is whoever killed him put his body somewhere and was waiting, maybe on that farm, waiting for the clear, and then they kind of like set his body there. Now it's national news. Now you're in really big trouble. Like, it's not like just a bunch of teenagers, who just horsing around. Like, if it was an accident, now nobody cares because you really done fucked up. Like, and it's been so long that if they get caught, they're gonna get a good sentence. I mean, I hope so, because this has been like, how traumatizing to this mother who she just wants it to be solved, and it's just like so heartbreaking. But yeah, it's crazy. It's super crazy, this particular episode. Of course, there's tons of other episodes, but the two that are getting a lot of attention are the one with the first one with Rey Rivera, because that one's sketchy too. Like, if you listen to that one, they found his body in a room, and there was a hole on top, and apparently he was pushed into this room, but it seems really unlikely because the altitude and like the distance, like he would have to be, like some super, it's just a lot of it's sketchy. I try to look into the alien one. That one's really hard to find any, sort of any kind of thoughts about it. There's the one with the French gentleman. People said they spotted him. There's also a theory about that one, the one about the French family, that he's actually already dead, and this was some sort of mob hit, and there's no, like, the dad's body hasn't been found or something. That's that one. I personally don't know. That one is really, like, there doesn't seem to any motive, any cause. It's just like one day he decided to kill his family. It just seems really kind of crazy. And then the last one with the mom who killed the husband and the daughter. Wow. That one was, jeez. And then there's the one with the wife who went missing. and the son's been looking for her, and the husband's kind of sketch. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them that are just unsolved mysteries. Netflix has not said how they're gonna kind of update people on things. It seems like right now the way people are getting updated are different news sources. Like I found out about that October 19th season 2, premiere through People magazine. Also, if you look up Unsolved Mysteries update, you'll get like tons and tons of news reports. Apparently Reddit. If you want to go down a rabbit hole of conspiracy theories, go to Reddit, because that's where it's at right now. The Unsolved Mystery Reddit train. I don't have a Reddit. I don't want to go to Reddit. I feel like I've been told to get a Reddit, and I'm not going to, because I don't have that much time in my life to be on Reddit. But yeah, Reddit is where you want to be if you're really looking to get into a rabbit hole about these stories are insane. So like I said, October 19th is season 2, so I don't know what they're doing. They're not talking, they're not saying what they're doing. The article talked more about how Unsolved Mysteries has solved over 1,000 cases, and it's different reincarnations. Right now they're kind of focusing on the first season, more on the deaths and less about the aliens. I think that's kind of like, that was a fun episode, but I think that's not as critical as finding a murderer or finding out what happened to somebody. So that's kind of taking the backseat. As much as I as an alien conspirator want to hear about that, I'd rather have an unsolved mystery about a murder like Alonzo's case, which I think is, in Alonzo's case, that one is very important and very critical, and I think a lot of people want to know, and it's so sad. So October 19th, guys, is the next season. So if you like this episode, please like, subscribe, do what you gotta do. Please, please, please. If you don't know what I'm talking about, please. If you have no idea what I was talking about, you're just like, it's just some random girl talking about something. I've linked the episode of Unsolved Mysteries, my podcast, Black Hole Sun, below. And if you did like it and you know what I'm talking about and you're agreeing with this, go listen to the next podcast episode for the next episode that comes out next week. So thank you. Please subscribe, and thank you for taking your time to watch me, and have a good one.